You know what's interesting about fire extinguishers?
What?
We don't know how to use them.
That's true. It's true.
So many people do not know how to use a fire extinguisher, which is crazy because it could be the most important thing to save your life in a high pressure situation, right? Most of us, you go to school, you know what 8+8 is, you know what year we came to America, but you don't know how to use a fire extinguisher. Just like a lot of musicians, right? You know how to sing, you know how to play an instrument, you're really good, you could produce a good song. But when it comes to marketing your music and doing all the right things, you have no idea because nobody has taught you.
That's right. If you're an artist or a songwriter, you release music on Spotify, how do you get people to hear your music? We all know we want to get on playlists. Everyone wants to get on big playlists because that's how you get a ton of streams and you reach a lot of people. And we're a Nashville-based agency. We help labels and a ton of artists here in town and even in New York, LA. And all these artists come to us and they want to get on playlists. And even labels, they try to get on the big playlists like Spotify playlists. And then there are playlists that the labels actually own.
You got Filter, Digster, Topsify, which these are owned big influencer, big playlisting accounts that are owned by the labels.
Yeah, but there's a lot of privately owned playlists. Like they're literally kids in New York City that have a playlist that's got like millions of followers. So there are these private playlists, there are Spotify owned playlists, and there are these big playlists owned by labels and different companies. And so these are the places like you can potentially get your music on, right? Now, a lot of people don't know about these private playlisters. They're just random people and it's kind of hard to get a hold of them. We're gonna share the strategy that a lot of labels use and we ourselves use all the time to get on these big private playlists. And these playlists are huge. They're like thousands and thousands of large playlists you can get on. And in this video, we're gonna walk through how you can kind of create your own list of contacts of people that own private playlists and how you can get on them. And this is the same strategy used by all the big record labels to get the artists ton of streams.
So what you're gonna do, you're going to, let's say you have a song that sounds like Ed Sheeran, right? Go to Spotify, in the search bar, you're gonna search Ed Sheeran. You're gonna see related playlists. Everything that has an Ed Sheeran song or has an Ed Sheeran theme to it, right? Search through those playlists. Find ones that have 65,000 maybe, 70,000, 100,000 followers. And then what you're gonna do, you're gonna go to that profile. When you get to that profile, look for who owns that playlist.
Yeah.
Look for their name.
Yeah, so once you find that name, it's a very manual process, but it works, guys. You gotta go find that name, look up that name, and go search that name in Google. Go on Twitter, go on Facebook. Most likely, these private playlisters who own these playlists, they use the same name for their YouTube handle or Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. And you can find their contact info. You can find their social media account. And once you find that social media account, the best way we recommend doing this is you spend a couple of days just kind of researching, right? So you just go in and you start looking for these big playlists that are already playlisting similar songs to your genre, right? Or your music, something that's similar to you. You go and find these big playlists that are already playlisting them. And then you find the name of the person, so the username of their Spotify username, and put it in a spreadsheet. So have this playlist there, have the name of the user in the spreadsheet, and then you can go and look up that same name on social media, on Twitter, and find their social handles, and now put that in a list. So now you start curating that list. You have this giant list of potential private playlisters that you can contact and start reaching out.
And for even more verification, guys, a lot of times their profile picture on Spotify will be the same profile picture on their social media too. So then you can be like, yep, that's the same guy.
Yep.
So do that. It's a lot of manual work, but reach out to these people, build a relationship with them, and then maybe, upon your next releases, you hit them up again and say, hey man, I got new stuff.
Yeah.
And, incentivize them and, give them the music maybe early. Let them listen to it. Let them be a critique. A lot of these times, these people, these playlisters, they feel like almost like radio DJs, right? Because they're playlisting a song. They're making their own list and people are listening. So give them, a first look at your new music, and it gives them almost this feeling of
pride. Like
yeah.
they're kind of sharing your music first to their world, and especially their followers. So they love doing that. And so it's not hard to reach out to these people. In fact, a lot of the labels and a lot of the big, if you find any of the companies out there that are doing Spotify promotion, this is what they're doing. They just have done this manual work ahead of time and build those relationships. Now, you as an artist, they want to connect directly to the artist. So if you start reaching out, say you spend a whole year doing this, because you're going to think about it, you're going to spend, you're going to come out with music every quarter or every 6 months. You might as well spend that time in between when you're not putting out music, reaching out to these playlisters, building that relationship, either sending them your older music and just see how many of them actually connect to it. Because if you reach out to like say 1,000 of them, you get a couple hundred, right? Or 20 or 30, and that's enough. Like if you get 20 or 30 big private playlisters that have millions of followers, now you get a ton of streams. And as you come out with more music, it will reach out to more people, because there's a lot of people, say you get on a big private playlister's playlist, there's other people that have playlists that look at them and follow them, so they'll start spreading down, and it's like, start growing and getting viral.
Yeah, and don't always think about a 50,000 subscriber list as the best play.
Yeah.
Maybe you get 52,000 follower list. That's 100,000 people. You're diversified, and guys, that really pays off. So take the time, do it manually. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of time, a lot of reaching out, a lot of no answers, but it will work.
Yeah.
Trust us, it will work.
Yep. And it's just something that just keeps growing. And think about it, now you've built something of value. You can actually go to other artists and say, hey, I have this whole list of playlisters that I can hit up. If you want to promote your music, I'll promote it for you, and in return, maybe you can ask them to promote your music, so you can help other artists and get extra reach. There's a lot of things you can do around something. That's something of value that you have built that you can keep reusing.
In fact, I have a lot of friends who aren't necessarily artists, but they've gone and done this for other artists, and so now they have this huge list. Now they charge like $2,000 to $3,000 per campaign just for an artist, for them to pitch an artist's music.
Yep. So yeah, this is a tip that you guys can use. If you have any questions, leave us a comment below. Tell us what you think. List out any playlists that you follow that you really love, that you would reach out to, and we want to know your results. We want to know if this works for you guys. If you guys have had good experiences, bad experiences, feel free to reach out to us and we'll walk you through it. Again, my name is Saren, this is Eric, and we're from Music Masters. We have an artist marketing platform, and we're an agency based out of Nashville. Feel free to reach out to us with any questions. Talk to you soon.